A time when a young man must set sail on a voyage into the world. To gain his feathers, become a brave. To adorn arrows in his quest for knowledge and respect. This is the story of us, council estate kids, the nameless thousands without a voice, where there are no rules, only experience to gain. Scorned by many, understood by few. But as time goes by, we will always be there. Only the faces will change.
Skinhead. Yeah! I want everybody now to sing this song. Yeah! Go like this. Skinhead. 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 Yeah!
Skin to me is not like no movement. That's the last thing it is. To me, it's a way of life, man. It's a culture that I live by. It's about having pride in the way I look. It's about working for my living, earning everything I get. It's about going to reggae dances and having a good time, about enjoying the most multicultural culture in the world.
Hey, watch out, there's some skinheads running around here.
With white people, if they've got a problem about skinheads, I just think, well, you haven't got a clue, mate. Do you know what I mean? You just haven't got a clue, really. You haven't looked into it at all. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. There's a lot of different things. It's all right to dance skinhead, sort of thing, but it's not right to be a skinhead.
When people ask me what a skinhead is, I tell them, you know, a skinhead is a working class guy or a girl, you know. A skinhead is someone who stands up for what he believes in and what she believes in.
First thing to say, like, unfortunately, is, but I'm not what you think a skinhead is, which is like a Nazi or, you know, someone with a shaved hair. And people quite often are like, you know, how can you be a skinhead? You know, you don't have short hair. And I was like, well, that's not really what it was about.
Ask two skinheads what skinhead is about, you'll probably get 3 different answers, you know.
Skinhead is about like brotherhood. It's about like it's just like a way of life and everything. It's like you like stand for yourself and like your friends, and like you don't take any like slack from people or anything.
Well, a skinhead, to me, is somebody who's got a lot of pride, is very strong, but also very lost. You know, when I look at them now, I mean, we were all lost kids, you know, and a skinhead is in the heart.
A lot of people don't understand anyways. They think, oh, no, you got short hair, that's it, you know, you're white, you're a Nazi, you know, you're racist, you know, you don't like me because of my color. And then you try to explain, and they're like, they still don't understand.
To me, it was about pride in myself, you know, pride in the clothes, pride in the estate, proud of what we could be proud of, really, because at that age you need something to latch onto.
It's a feeling more than anything else, because it's hard to actually walk about like this knowing people hate you, but still feeling pride in what you are.
Well, I'd probably say it's like just believing in what you want to believe. Don't like take notice of everyone else. Don't go with the crowd. Don't be a sheep. Just like listen to what you want to do. If like you want to say something, say it loud. Just hang around with your mates and that.
I'd say a decent skinhead is someone that believes in himself, knows what he's looking for, knows what he wants, knows how to dress. Just someone that's well sussed, well clued up, knows what they're talking about. No mugs.
An event seen from one point of view gives one impression.
I find the media absolutely incredible because it is totally and utterly based on misinformation and lack of facts by people who have no understanding of the subject they're writing about. It's white working class males are an easy target.
Seen from another point of view, it gives quite a different impression.
It's that typical stereotype image of the muggy, bonehead, glue-sniffing, granny-mugging thug, you know what I mean? And he's just not like that. It's just complete myth.
But it's only when you get the whole picture you can fully understand what's going on.
If there are skinheads out there, which they obviously are, who have taken heed from what they've read in the newspapers to become skinheads, and become skinheads for the wrong reasons, and maybe gone around causing trouble for no reason, then the blame of that lies at the door of the media, because it's a monster they've created.
I think really the media is probably the biggest enemy that the skinhead cult has ever seen.
Every racist attack, every time the word skinhead comes up, and skinhead is used as a synonym for Nazi, whether it is a skinhead or not, whether it is a hooligan or whatever, even hippie, no matter what he looks like, skinhead is the word for it.
Everybody thinks we're bad and we're whatever. We're evil and we're the last scum of all.
Aren't we?
Yeah.
There's never going to be a bunch of footballers get together and take it to court. There's never going to be, you know, we're lower than Bengalis, really.
Oh, wait, I know what you're talking about. Skinhead girls and skinhead guys, they have those bald heads, and they wear the big boots, right? Right? Yeah. And the way that you can recognize them out of a crowd is that they're burning a cross on your front lawn.
They can think I'm a hooligan, they can think I'm a thug. I don't care, they can think what they like, it don't affect me, do you know what I mean? But the thought of somebody thinking that I'm a racist, that upsets me.
I'm a skinhead. I ain't no Nazi.
Now, see, y'all explain it to me now. I didn't know. I didn't know.
You're just living an easy life by scapegoating all the skinheads, and then you can say, while looking into the mirror, well, I am not a racist because I don't have cropped hair.
Skinhead, being crucified for the sins of others. It's sort of like a misinterpretation, you know? Breaking the stereotype, you know, being crucified because people think of you as a certain way. Breaking that stereotype and proudly holding the banner skins.
I've read articles on skinheads in magazines and things like that, and they always say even the ones that aren't racist are, you know, like hoodlums and will rob you, you know, eat your babies, shit like that.
One lot for them, another one for us, which I think is like the skinhead logo.
Everybody knows the media is controlled and run by middle-class people who've never lived in the environment that I grew up in, and how skinheads grew up. They've got no perception at all of how we are because they don't know us. How can you go to a public school and then go to a university and live in middle-class greenbelt land around London and work for the BBC and then tell us how we're meant to live?
They get their hair cropped, buy the uniform, and they're in. Narrow clip-on braces worn to be seen, but perhaps they're best known for their big boots, sometimes fitted with steel toe caps, which are not just for protection.
People say, oh, I can't understand it, you know, why they do all this. Well, people saying that, and these are top people, politicians or whatever, saying, oh, I can't understand it. Well, that's just ignorance, you know. If you don't understand something, then you're ignorant of it. You're uneducated on it.
There's a lot of hippies lost in the media at the moment who still carry a sore point for skinheads, and that's why it reflects in the way it does in the media.
Bollocks to the media, really.
Get up in the morning, slaving for bread, sir, so that every mouth can be fed. Oh, the Israelite. And my kids step up and I leave me.
I can basically remember it was mid-60s I started to see them, probably about 66 time they started to sort of evolve, but by sort of 68, 69 it was rampant.
Shut them a tear up choices ago. I don't want to end up like Bonnie and Clyde. rush down, there must be a coming. But catch me in the palm, you sound your alarm.
You can't really explain it unless you've done it. It was just one of those magic feelings.
Well, the first time I got my hair cut, I had a hat on, I took it off and they just fell on the floor laughing. So I was a bit gutted. Because they used to call me Gonzo, my big nose, it just made me look even bigger.
I used to have long hair and that, and then I wasn't allowed to have my hair the way I wanted it and that. So I shaved it all off and I got hassled even more.
My dad punched me in the face, and my mum quite liked it.
You felt confident with yourself, but I mean, there's a lot of piss takers about it at the time. It's all, I mean, that playground chant, skinhead over there, what's it like to have no hair?
It just felt good, you know, it still feels good, you know, to like crop my hair and lace up a pair of ducks. I love it, you know.
When I first shaved my head, it was like, I bicked it, you know, I like shaved it completely bald. So it was really good.
We're having a party. I hope you are hearty. Yeah. We're having a party. I hope you are hearty. Sing it to me, children. Rum ba ba doo bam 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 ba doo. Rum ba ba doo bam bam. Intensify. Rum ba ba doo bam 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 ba doo. Rum ba.
The original Skinheads evolved out of the mods. The clothes, you know, with the stay press, the brogues, the suits. We're always, you know, in the evening smartly dressed. In the daytime it was jeans, braces, boots.
It goes from the sublime to the ridiculous, basically the style. I feel like 10 buttons on your suit is like very smart to the extremes of being snobbish.
The style was important enough for me to look like a skinhead. You could tell I was a skinhead, but I wasn't it. My brother and his friend were like prima donnas, really. They were like immaculately dressed and very elitist, very, very snobbish. A lot of snobbery in the skinhead cult, a lot of snobbery.
The only thing really that would distinguish in the old days the look of a skinhead to the look of any smart bloke was the length of his trousers. Skinheads always wore them about 3 or 4 inches shorter than everyone else to show off their white socks.
There was a pair of flares laid out in front of me, and a pair of Dr. Martens. And for some reason, the Dr. Martens appealed to me more than a pair of flares.
When I got to my mum with my Dr. Martens on the first time, she freaked out a bit. She thought, what the hell have you got on your feet?
Our parents actually don't like it so very much because they think, well, our religion is we're Jewish, and they think that don't fit together, doesn't fit together, and seeing us walking around with our boots and whatever. Our mother gets eyes like that. And
It's like gay people wear skinhead clothing, all right? And I've got nothing against gay people, but they're not skinheads, and they never will be skinheads because it's not about wearing big boots and shaving your hair.
When I first turned skinhead, all the old skinheads were giving me their stuff and I was a real class gear at that time. When you was going through 77, you couldn't get sod all. You know, be army lightweights, Arrington jacket, Fred Perry t-shirts. I mean, those were the things that you could pick up in the shop. Didn't like when it kicked off, weird two-tone and what have you. You had a lot of gear that come out, but it come out labelled as mod wear.
It's like you've got this big thing nowadays about skinheads only wear Levi 501s. But originally, any pair of jeans would do, like you wear Levi's, Wranglers, Lees, anything at all. Like, same with the shirts, people know, they say, oh, skinheads only wear Ben Shermans. Well, it's a load of rubbish, really. Like, originally, you wasn't even button-down shirts. It was just ordinary, plain, white work shirts.
When I went to school, you know, you had to wear a white shirt. So, you know, Ben Sherman, a white Ben Sherman looked much better than those sort of white nylon-y ones.
As the 80s went on, going to scooter rallies and that, and you get lots more skinheads there. A lot more of them seem to be, you know, dressed into the original style, which was really good. It seemed to come back in quite a big way. Even the punk skins, you know, your National Front, like they seem to be sort of trying to dress the original style.
The look's an extreme look. When you see somebody with their boots, shaved head, and it's kind of hard to look nice and quiet. And you look nasty, whether you are or not.
He was whistling when he strolled down to the Barking Road. The cosh felt comfortable against his flesh, his boots felt solid, secure on his feet. In a few minutes he would meet his mates, and soon they would be ready for an aggro.
I mean, really, in my view, being a skinhead was all about violence, and that's it. Whether it was baggies, blacks, football supporters, whatever, violence.
The way of being a skinhead is that if I have a problem with you, I would do it in a way that I feel necessary for me to do, which is normally violence. If I don't like you and you say something to me that offends me, I'll kick your head in. Oh, shit!
I've had hammers over my head, iron bars over my head, I've been stabbed up, nose busted, steel pins in my hand, been shot at twice.
I've been shot. I got shot in like Seattle over a skinhead fight, you know. I've been stabbed. I got stabbed in LA in my face by another skinhead from a gang called Lemonheads, who are now Urban Boot Boys. You know, whatever, right? I've been in jail for like skinhead related shit. I've devoted my life to skinhead. I'm not gonna leave it.
Like one time I went to jail and like it was all over the news, like the media like made a big thing there, like 3 Nazi skins arrested and guns are found and all that. And then like I got beaten by the whole unit, like I had stitches all over my face and stuff. So it's like, you know, they obviously wanted me to get attacked. Like they put me in a unit with 15 blacks, you know, and like left my cell door unlocked, so.
I'm a little bit extreme though. I think violence is quite fun sometimes. It gives you adrenaline and stuff.
But people don't like getting hurt. Skinheads, blacks, Asians, people don't like getting hurt or getting grief. So we had a good rapport between all the different sections of town. But when it did go off, it went off in a big way. Usually wankers in pubs, pissed geezers, you know. And that's what it was, pissed white men. You know, the blacks had a lot of respect. We had a lot of respect for the Seven because we were exactly the same. People, exactly the same. You know, young lions.
If someone's fronting you face to face and taking a piss, do you know what I mean? You got to deal with it, like. Well, like if someone's acting a little, you can walk away from it. A big man will walk away from a fight if he can.
You got a motherfucking problem? Eh? You want some fucking knots on your fucking head? Just film, motherfuckers, because you don't know what the fuck you're dealing with over here, boy.
It's part of any teenager growing up, part of anyone growing up. It happens everywhere. You can't escape it. It's part of life, isn't it?
I'll kick every one of your fucking ass.
Whatever.
Huh? You always get hassle, though. It just comes to us, really. Well, every weekend there's always a bit of trouble. Good Fridays, battles down the fair. Every Good Friday when the fair opens again.
A bit of violence now and again.
Comes out the corner, that. For you.
It's not just skinheads. It's a metalheads fight, hippies fight over pot, you know, whatever. Everyone fights and stuff. Just skinheads always tagged for it.
I wouldn't doubt that violence is associated to skinheads, but sometimes it's
either justified or there is a reason for it. And I think there's a very great difference between violence for a reason than mindless violence. If the right wing or even the left wing decide that, you know, they're creating violence for a target and for a reason, then that's got to be a lot better than just hitting out at anybody for no reason at all.
Well, I don't exactly know what happened. All I know is that these people get beat up. It's fucking bullshit. If you're fighting for a reason, that's cool. But obviously this isn't a reason. Obviously not. When you got 20 on one, that's not a fucking reason. I'm from Milwaukee. The Brew City, BCS, in our town, it doesn't happen like this. For real. Trust me, if you want to have a fun time, skinheads together, Milwaukee. Milwaukee, fucking Wisconsin. I can't believe this shit. Ruins the whole fucking night.
I just lost my way.
Why I didn't become a Teddy boy is because, you know, I just didn't like packers. Skinheads was all about, you know, everyone knew Skinheads didn't like packers, and so I thought that's the one for me, you know.
I'm a Jackson Heights thug. I look for people to beat up for no reason after a while.
Brooklyn, New York skinheads, and Hawaii. Hula hula.
Harbour skinheads, Wilmington, Carson, Long Beach.
Uptown Boot Boys? Yeah. Well, it started in the dark days of '88.
There was the hip-hop music.
A bunch of hoodlums.
But the Brooklyn Oi boys, we're stronger than ever. And most of us are dead or in jail.
It's only if you're by yourself or somebody, they'll probably start on you. Like a couple of times we've had guys calling his name and says, right, come on then, me and you, square go. And once you say that, they just can't believe it, thinking, oh, what's this Asian guy doing, turning around and want to fight me, you know? So a fight starts off, yeah, and we all got thrown outside. And this one in particular, I seen him and I just went up to him, yeah, and inside he was really giving this aggressive look like this, and went up to him and said, yeah, and all of a sudden his face just changed. He had all these tattoos on his head and everything made in Britain, made in Scotland and all that. He had all these tattoos everywhere. And as soon as I went up to him, his face changed and he was nearly crying. Before I even hit him, he was started crying, the guy did. He was on his knees, well, just beat him up and that was it, really. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it is a particular violent cult, but people have portrayed it that way, yes. And sort of the male going to the football, having a fight type thing. But for me personally, no.
You have, as I said, such a lot of different kinds of skinheads who often don't like each other, and you have the Turks who don't like us at all. And you know, there's a lot of violence. Yeah, hooligans.
Sometimes you're just in the mood to beat someone or whatever. All this greasy, you know, hippie stuff. If you go to a ska concert and it's hundreds of hippies and only 5 skins or what, you get angry.
Das war zuerst ganz irgendwie. Schweine. Wir machen aber Schweine.
Heftig, das juckt
Ja. Hast du mitgekriegt? Die Arschlöcher haben CS-Gas aus der Wanne raus. Echt? Ja. Na hier, willst du was abhaben? Nee, es geht schon. Hier sind so viele scheiß Kanadier, das ist ja nicht schön.
Brauchst du noch Wasser?
Ja, deswegen.
Wer ist der Zweite? Wer hat noch was ab?
Nee, mach nicht. Wasser schadet nur. Ich hab das oft noch mitgekriegt.
Jetzt sag mal eins.
What we have is unified power all over. If one of our friends got hit, if anybody, even if I knew a person, just one person, and that person got hit, all the skins are gonna have to fight out.
At first it was just a mob. We went to school together and hung out, sniffed glue and drunk beer and that sort of stuff. But as we grew older, that gang became a lot more violent and a lot more aggressive.
We like to be remembered as the most violent Burma skinheads. That's how we like to be remembered, Des. No one else can be as violent as what we were.
Lots of people, the only language they understand is like violence. When it comes to a big guy who wants to fuck you up, you can't sit there and talk to him. He'll just laugh at you and you lose respect. Yeah? Violence is the way to get respect.
I think violence is fucking stupid because one day maybe you get killed or maybe you kill someone and it's not good. And it's okay to fight when you win, but one day you can't win, you know, and then you get fucking beaten up really bad. And I think that's the day people realize violence is not fun.
Stop your running about. It's time you straighten right out. Stop your running around, making trouble in the town. Rudy, a message to you, Rudy, a message to you.
It's like the same as any group. Do you know what I mean? You go and a lot of people. You've got a fat one. You've got a nutter. You've got a pisshead. You've got everybody. It's just exactly the same. Do you know what I mean? And if violence comes up, it's dealt with. Not by me. Do you know what I mean? Obviously. I'll let them do the fighting. I have to do my other type of fighting with all the other fucking people giving me abuse. Do you know what I mean?
There are instances, yeah, where you might have to defend yourself and stick up for your mates and do what you have to do. But I think the movement generally be better off if more people thought more with their brains and less with their boots.
There's always going to be morons no matter what you're involved in. So some skinheads are going to be violent, but it's not part of the criteria for being a skinhead.
I want all you skinheads to get up on your feet. Put your braces together and your boots on your feet. And give me some of that old moon stomping. Get ready. We got 3 million miles to reach on the moon. So let's start getting happy now. Ready? Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right. Now. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Skinhead was born out of a mixture of working class cultures, basically being the British working class culture, which was like your working class mods, sort of evolved into skinheads around 68, 69. And they picked up on the Jamaican music they'd been listening to in blues parties and things, and took it on as their own. And like as a mark of respect, reggae musicians started saying thank you by recording Skinhead Moonstomp, Skinhead Girl records like that. So reggae music and skinhead grew together.
With regards to like sort of skinhead reggae and rocksteady, it's hard to describe, but it's a really good feeling, if you hear a good song, you're like, oh, that's brilliant, and you really sort of get into the rhythm and you want to get up and dance or do whatever, but it's something that really like affects you. That's the sort of music I like, and that's why I like it, because it really sort of touches your soul.
It's always been that music for me. I suppose I've just grown up as a white West Indian.
I think the song that really typifies being a skinhead has got to be Simmerip's Skinhead Moonstomp. I think it came out 1969, 1970. On that there was Skinhead Moonstomp, there was Skinhead Girl, there was Skinhead Jamboree. The whole album was dedicated to skinheads. The front cover was for skinheads. And for a group of Jamaican musicians to actively court the skinhead cult really emphasised the mixture of British and Jamaican cultures that had come together to make skinhead what it was.
Like every skinhead firm had a few Caribs in, a few sort of Jamaican guys. All used to go to the same club. There was never any problem.
When the skinhead walks down